Hello everybody, welcome to our channel, Rebecca Stew and the Crew. I'm Rebecca, and today we're going to be making something out of these grapevine wreaths and cake pan from the Dollar Tree. We're going to make this really fun Easter basket. It's super easy, so let's go over the supplies. You'll need 5 grapevine wreaths from the Dollar Tree. You're also going to need one of their round cake pans. Then we're going to use some of their twine, and then we're also going to use some floral wire. You just need a small piece of that, and really you could just use the twine if you wanted to. I'm going to use some plastic embroidery needles from Walmart, and then some floral foam from the Dollar Tree, as well as some heavy paper. I'm going to use some paper lunch bags because that's what I had on hand. I'm also going to use some of this floral moss and some flowers of your choice from Dollar Tree, as well as some greenery. I'm going to use these ferns and onion grass that Dollar Tree has had out for springtime, as well as 1 pack of their speckled eggs. I'm also going to use a little bit of ribbon of choice, and you will need some hot glue, a little bit of the Fix-All adhesive, and some adhesive spray, or you could just use a heavy-duty hairspray. You'll also need some scissors. So let's get crafty. So the first thing we're going to do is take our Fix-All adhesive, or E6000, flip our cake pan over, and we're going to put a nice layer of glue all the way around the rim and the edge there. So I did that all the way around, make sure I had plenty on there, and then take one wreath and slide that over. So it doesn't fit perfectly, so I'm using a little bit of hot glue to help hold that in place. Now you're going to flip that back over, and we're going to take our embroidery needle with some twine, and we're first going to just attach both wreaths. So the way we're going to do this is to just pull that needle right through both of the wreaths with some twine, and then we're going to tie that into place with a double knot. Now we are going to sew all the way around this to make sure it has a nice sturdy attachment, but just to keep it in place so it's easier to sew them together, we're going to actually attach it in 4 different spots. So you're going to do 2 on either side, which would be 12 and 6, and then 3 and 9. So that's where you're going to tie those together. Once that's done, go ahead and flip it over. And you're just going to take your embroidery needle with some of this twine and go right through the bottom, through both of the wreaths, and pull that twine all the way through. Once you have it pulled nice and tight so that there's no gaps between the wreath, just take that needle and go back up through that bottom piece, since this is upside down, obviously, and then go back through both wreaths, and you're just going to keep working in this fashion all of the way around your pan with the wreaths here. And this is going to attach the first 2 layers of this wreath. So actually, like I told you guys, this is pretty much it. It's super easy to construct this. It takes a little bit of time, but not too much. The plastic needle helped a lot. It was nice and thick, and it helped to, get it all the way through those little grapevine sticks there. So you're going to just go all the way around, making sure you pull it nice and tight. Once you get all the way around there, just cut your twine off and then tie those 2 ends together. I made a nice double knot, and I am going to cut off that excess because I don't need that anymore. So now we're going to start working from the top. So we're going to take just our 3rd wreath here that we have, and we're going to stick that right on top, and we're going to sew it all the way around in the same fashion we just did, but you only have to attach it to the one right below it. You don't have to go through all 3. So once that's done, we're going to take another wreath and stand it up inside the cake pan, and this is going to become our handle to the basket. So it's a little cumbersome to get it in there, but it will stand up. Once you have that done, you're going to take some of the floral wire, and this is where you're going to put the floral wire on either side of the wreath, but I actually did go through the handle of that wreath, that one that's going to be the handle. That way it helps hold that up. And I'm just going to use a small piece of floral wire on either side of this handle. Just one piece seemed to be enough, and we are going to reinforce it with some twine just to make sure it stays in place and to help it stand up, because it does want to lean just a little bit when you first get it together here. But as you can see, it's a nice sturdy hold. That basket's not going anywhere, the handle's not going anywhere. So now that I have the floral wire done on both sides, I'm taking the twine and my needle again, and I just go through the wreath and around that handle a few times, like maybe 2 or 3 times each. And once you get all the way around that a few times, making sure you have it nicely in place and standing straight up and down, then just go ahead and tie that twine off and make a good double knot. If you want to, you can actually take some hot glue and put a little dot of that over the end of the knot that you make in your twine. It's not necessary. I actually didn't do this. I thought it was sturdy enough with just the twine and that floral wire that I had put on there. But like I said, if you want to just make sure that this lasts a long time, go ahead and put a little dot of hot glue on the end of that twine that you tie into the knot to hold that handle on. Then go ahead and cut off that excess twine. If you don't have floral wire, you can just attach it with the twine. It's fine. So now that we have the handle on, we're going to take that last wreath number 5, and slide it down over top of the handle. This helps to hide where we attach the wreath to make a handle. It is a little bit tight, which is what you want. That helps to hold the handle up. You just have to kind of maneuver it a little bit and you'll get it down. And then what you're going to do, just like you did for wreath number 1 and 2, and 3, you're going to put this 4th wreath on and sew all the way around it to attach it. Once that's all done, you're going to just take some hot glue and take your floral foam and put a square of that on either side of the handle. You do want to try to cut it as close as you can to make sure that it fits in there nice and snug along the edges. That also is going to help hold that handle up. And if you're using craft foam, you do want to wait just a few seconds if you have a high temp glue gun so you don't melt your floral foam. Once I have those pieces down in place, I'm just taking these paper lunch bags because that's what I had on hand. I wanted a nice sturdy paper to stuff this with because I do want to fill those holes in because we're going to make it look like it's filled with that moss, and we want it, we don't want to use a ton of that stuff. So, just sprinkle up your paper and stuff it into all of those little spaces as tight as you can so you have a nice firm base there. And then you're going to take another piece of that lunch bag, put some hot glue on there, and just lay it over the top to make a nice smooth top for us to be able to glue our floral moss to. So once you get that glued on, you do want to go around and make sure that you tuck the sides in all the way around so you don't have any paper sticking out. If you want to add a little bit more hot glue around the edges, that's fine. It's not really necessary. I didn't do it. I just tucked it down inside because we're not going to be taking anything out of the basket. And if I move it, I just carry it by the handle. So it's really not necessary, but you can put some hot glue down in there if you like. And here's what it looks like so far. So it no longer looks like there's a wreath as a handle. It just looks like a handle, which I liked a lot. So now taking some hot glue and just a little bit of this floral foam. It just took a little tiny bit. I probably used a quarter of the bag. You're just going to layer this moss all the way around, spread it out to make sure that you have a nice layer of the moss to cover up all of that lunch bag, but it doesn't have to fill in every single nook and cranny. As you can see, I still have a lot of moss left in that bag, so just a nice thin layer. Now this is where you want to take your spray adhesive or your hairspray, and you want to spray this moss. This is going to help keep it from shedding all over the house. I cannot stand when the floral moss just comes out everywhere. I found that hairspray works really well, but so does this spray adhesive from the Dollar Tree. Just spray a few layers on. I wait about 2-3 minutes in between layers. I did 2 layers total, and that moss isn't going anywhere. Now it's time to decorate with our ferns and our greenery. I just cut them off in little pieces. I liked how it was hanging over the side of the basket there, and then I wanted it to go up the side of the wreath. This is actually inspired by a wreath that I saw, or a basket that I saw at Joanne Fabric's. The price was astronomical. It was literally a third of the size for more than twice the cost. So that's what inspired this basket. So once I have that greenery on there, I'm going to just glue my flowers on where I thought they looked nice. I liked them going down the one side and up across the handle a little bit. And then taking that package of the speckled eggs from the Dollar Tree, I just laid those on top of the basket at first and arranged them where I liked the colors. I didn't want the blues next to each other, so I kind of played with them a little bit to see how they looked best in the basket. And then I did end up gluing those down because I wanted some of them to stand up a little bit. And, without the glue, they just wanted to flop over. So once that was done, I just made a very simple twine bow and glued that to the other side of the handle where the flowers were not, and then glued a tiny little pink flower to the center of that bow just to help dress it up a little bit. Finally, I wanted to decorate the handle just a tad, so I took some of this lace ribbon that I picked up at the Dollar Tree quite a while ago, just tied it in a knot onto the bottom of the handle. I did put a little bit of hot glue there when I was done. I just simply wrapped this all the way around the handle, just in a diagonal spiral here, all the way around down to the other side, and then I glued it down once I got to the other side, just using some hot glue. And here's what the handle looks like, completely finished. Then I took a little bit of the onion grass and I did cut it down. It was a little bit too long, and taking my scissors, just like you would curl ribbons for a gift, you can curl this onion grass to make just some little curly grass popping up. They almost look like the tops of carrots, which I thought was really cute. I just glued a few pieces of that in between the eggs just to help fill this in just a little bit, because it looked a little bit plain. And here's the whole thing completed. It cost about $10 to make the whole thing. Here's the one from Joanne Fabric. You can see it fits in the palm of my hand. It was $24.99. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, you can check out some of these videos that I posted yesterday. Just go to our homepage and you can find those videos there by finding those thumbnails. And tomorrow, watch out for this thumbnail to appear for our weekly What's New This Week at Dollar Tree video. If you enjoyed this video, please like and share. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already. And here are some other videos from our channel you might also enjoy. I hope you all have a fabulous week.